a family man, a father of three, who was also an entrepreneur and has set up a successful online business in the health and wellness space. The saxophone wizard himself, Mr. Conor McGrath.
I struggled massively feeling like I was stupid. I used to struggle massively, maybe it could be still something like ADHD or something like that, but I couldn't concentrate. If I had an interest in something, I was hyper focused on it. They don't see the 17-year struggle. They don't see the journey. So you don't see that. Play for exposure, getting ripped off by promoters, traveling around Ireland, busking. We were selling the album for $20 a pop, like on the street, you know what I mean? And we sold out them over there. And we came home with like only maybe 10 left.
What was that like? Because I was actually in the Grand Garden Arena.
It was just a mind-blowing experience.
Okay, on today's episode of the Successful Irishman podcast, I'd like to welcome the music maestro, the daddy of live Sax Entertainment in Ireland, has worked with some of Ireland's best and leading venues around the world, including the Black Forge Inn in Dublin, Ocean Beach Club in Ibiza, the Westin Hotel in the Maldives, and Casa Bacardia Electric Picnic, one of my favourites in all of Electric Picnic. A family man, a father of three, who was also an entrepreneur and has set up a successful online business in the health and wellness space. The saxophone wizard himself, Mr. Conor McGrath. What's happening, mate? Great to have you on.
How's it going? You all right?
Good. And yourself?
I'm good. Good morning from a lovely blue sky Dublin.
Good. I'm happy to hear that. Blue skies is getting the heat to match.
Yeah, it looks like it, hopefully. Probably rain every half hour in between. It's all right for now.
Epic. Conor, what's the story, man? You played our wedding in Ireland last year, saxophone, and to be honest, still people today ask me, where did you get the sax player from? And the DJ, they were absolutely lethal. So giving your number across to so many different people. But as we know, life doesn't start with music up front. So if you want to give us a little bit of a recap where you came from, what life was like for you growing up, and yeah, we'll kick it off from there.
Yeah, nice one. Myself and Rob, the DJ Rob C, who I work with a lot, we always chat about your wedding, and just Rob especially because the tune selection that he got to play at it, and he just like that was the most fun wedding to play because we got to play the really good tunes that we don't usually get to play. People were just lapping it up, and so it was a great night. The energy was amazing, and I still have some great videos of it as well that I do share, and everyone's just on the lovely one. So such a nice gig to do. So thanks for having us. First of all, that was great crack.
Yeah, no, that was epic. We a lot of people try to control the music sets, and it's your art, isn't it? It's your creative spark. So it's like, why step in the way of you're the genius in that area, not me, you know? So allow you guys to do what you do, and we get to enjoy your art.
Thank you. There was two young lads at the wedding as well. I think they were maybe cousins or family friends of the young lads. There only was. I just remember them up dancing at the front and feeding off the energy, the pure, the was flowing out of them, just dancing, big smiles on their faces, and the moves were just busting. And that's the purest form of just like euphoria that you can get, is to see like little boys like that rocking it and just like not caring who was looking at them. The whole gig feeding off that buzz, and they were my their lifeline. I actually got to meet him at another party, one of the lads, at a 50th birthday for Sinead there. We were playing off the back of your one, and he was there again. He was dancing. It was just lovely to see him again as well. So
yeah, lovely. That reminds you as well, though, doesn't it? Because kids don't care who's watching. And as we get older into adult life and society programs and all of that, and a lot of people get self-conscious, and they hide that true self for fear of judgment. So it's just a gentle reminder to always allow the kid inside to play.
Yeah, they were amazing, deadly little kids. So I suppose going back into I'm guessing it's about 17-year now professional career in music. Something I'm very grateful to be able to have followed, to have a passion to go after, something like that. I'm a Clondalkin man originally from the south side, now living over in the north side. I converted over to Artane, which is God, how life brings on these paths. But I started out playing music. My dad was into music, played a bit of jazz guitar. He was in a band with my uncle years ago, and kind of brought up around it, I suppose, in the household. I would always sit on the couch singing away, and played a lot of good music in the house as well. I was always listening to the likes of James Taylor and Elton John and the Beatles and Steely Dan and all these, like Stevie Wonder was always playing, So it was never a case of I was pushed into you go play an instrument like that. I was always surrounded by it. It was always playing in the car, or was, you know what I mean? It was always like really good quality stuff. And I find that even my kids now, Mason is 7 and he's my eldest, and he has a playlist on my phone, and his playlist the songs that he actually picks and asks me to add onto the playlist is all the same stuff. Do you know what I mean, that I used to listen to? So like he's picking up, like, you know what I mean, and he's like, add that song, and he's got Fleetwood Mac and all, The Chain and all, one of his favorite songs. You know what I mean? So it's mad how that kind of carries down, even though it's more advanced technology now. You know what I mean? It's not set in the car. You know, we always used to listen to music on drives down the country and all, you know, with your family, and you put, you know, the same album will play over and over. But now it's like, you know, you'd have the Carpenter's album or something playing over and over. I always remember them drives, you know. But now it's like, you know, you can just pop them on. And so I don't know how it started out. I don't know where that's, you know, where the music interest came from. But for sure, you know, when I got into my like school years, I was very lucky to have a teacher in St. Joseph's in Clough Village, and it was a man from Tralee called John Fitzgerald, and he was a huge musician, played concertina and piano, tin whistle, and when he taught, he retired there last year. He was teaching there for like nearly 30 years, and I got called back. Me and my friend Keane, who was in my band from years ago, and we got called back to play at his retirement celebration, and all the kids were still there, still teaching all the kids, hundreds of them all in the hall, and we brought back, and it was a really emotional day. To see him retire and the impact that he made for years. Like, you know what I mean? Like, me and Keane still playing music profession. Keane still teaches professionally. Like, and this guy, you know, when we started there, he used to keep us back in 4th class. I had him in 4th class and 5th class, and he used to keep us back for an hour after school to learn the tin whistle. And sometimes on Thursday we have to sit on our lunch break and learn on our lunch break. Like, the impact, like some lads didn't really catch on to it, but some lads did. Like myself, that was my introduction to like playing the tin whistle. Led me on to, like, he got me a glockenspiel, and then he got me on the marching drum because I was out to keep in time. And then I ended up joining the Clonloughlin Youth Band. Vincent Dolan was the conductor there. He was Joe Dolan's cousin, and he got me onto the saxophone. Like, you know what I mean? And that led on there, and so it's mad that John Fitzgerald's like, when he retired, the emotion in the room when he retired, because I look back on the years, I was turned 37 now, you know what I mean? And I've not been playing like successfully for, you know, all of these years. And then you have like a room full of kids starting out with the tin whistle in their hand, like just like us. And we're looking back on, can you imagine the impact that he's made in all the years that have gone through? Because it's, you know, he didn't just teach his own class, all the other kids got involved. And like, I recorded my first studio album when I was 9 years of age.
What?
Old recording studio in town. He took 50 tin whistlers, 2 11 accordions, and we went in and recorded an album called Peace. And it was around the time of the troubles up north, the Alma bombing and stuff like that. So the album was a symbol of peace. Like, and we actually travelled the north with the school band and played in schools, in Protestant schools and Catholic schools up the north, and played the Peace songs off the Peace album. Like, and we had it to start a county down with all these songs, like jigs and reels kind of stuff, you know. But the album was, they brought in an amazing uilleann pipe player and a singer, and they made it sound like a studio album, you know what I mean? And you had like in the back with the tin whistle up there, and I was not playing bum notes and all. It was really like mess. About when I was 19, I recorded my first EP with my band, and the band we named the band the Schizophrenic. After
Schizophrenic.
It's a friend.
After John, yeah.
So like, we used to pull the odd wobbler, like, you know what I mean? Because you
there's a wobbler in there somewhere.
The tin whistle McGrath, you used to poke you in the chest, you know. You're missing all. So we said Schizophrenic, Fitz. We used to put John Fitz, and we put it there. Like, so that was like, he had me and the guitarist from that band back to play. Like, they surprised him, they didn't tell him, you know. And then we went back to St. Joseph's there a few months back. And the smile on his face when he looked up and saw the old band members and the old students who came back to send them off, you know, was just amazing. The impact was just.
What age is he right now? What age was he when he retired?
I'm going to, I don't want to insult him now, but I'm going to say, you say maybe late 50s, you know, coming on 60 maybe, yeah.
All right. Get out the gate that early, isn't he?
Yeah, well, and, you know, he played a video on the screen going back all the years and all the different things. Like, he was a huge GAA fan, a huge Kerry supporter and stuff. So he had a huge impact in the GAA in the school as well. And just a monster, one of these people that, you know, you'll never forget, John Fitzgerald.
That's epic. So, with, like, I don't think we had any music in my school anyways. I don't know how popular it is around the country. Is it growing? Is it dying? What is the situation with music classes in schools? in Ireland?
I'm not fully clued in on what way it's progressing. I do know when I left my primary school, I went on to my secondary school, which was Mile Park in Clondalkin, and there was very little. There was no music teacher there, and it wasn't really pushed, And it was pretty good. I think I sat it for my junior cert. I didn't even sit it for my leaving, And I didn't do well in my leaving anyway. I did shite. Like it didn't really. I didn't really.
Probably out doing gigs.
No, I'm probably thinking about. I was thinking about doing more, right?
Yeah,
Um, there was no support there music wise. There's no one pushing you in that direction. When I got in trouble a lot in school, I was interrupting the class a lot. There was just no interest. I used to whistle a lot and sing a lot, but that wasn't picked up on. It was more like, oh, you're bold, you're disruptive, I was getting kicked out of class all the time. So funny enough, I became interested in sports at quite a young age as well. Basketball was something I got really into. So when I went into Mile Park, I won an All Ireland in basketball in first year. I won an All Ireland in second year, and then I started getting in trouble.
All Ireland in basketball.
Yeah, and then I went on to play for Ireland. Then I got onto the Irish national team. Played for Ireland for 7 years, all the way up till 21. So sport became a huge outlet for me, you know what I mean? And at school in particular, I loved anyone who was sporty, you know what I mean? To play soccer, basketball. But basketball was a new sport. It wasn't big in the school, but we just happened to have myself and one or two lads a year had me that really took to it, and we had, the school used to get full days off when we won All Ireland, so the whole school would get,
So you've everything.
The music was, it wasn't really celebrating the music and the sport was. So for my, from my teen years up to the 16, 17, basketball was my life. I used to bring the basketball into the bedroom with me, and everywhere you'd see me, I'd have a basketball in my hand. So that was, it's funny enough now in my later life that I've gone back to training and health and stuff like that. That was a huge part of my kind of growing up. And even when I stopped playing basketball at 21, 22, I went back playing G with Ground Towers in Clondalkin. So it was always kind of that team sport has always kind of been there, But the Irish basketball was one of the best things. I travelled all over the world. I was in America, I was in Philadelphia, I was in Bosnia, I was in Boston, in Belgium. I did loads of tournaments and things. So I got to see a lot of the world from from a young age, and that was all.
What was I have a question for you, but I'll come back to it. Just the country, or not the country, the state that flashes up the most when you said you were traveling all over the world was Boston. So going to Boston as an Irish, or part of the Irish basketball team, what was that like? Because I was actually in the what's it called, the Grand Garden Arena. I was there to see Conor fight. And obviously Boston has a massive Irish contingency. So for you to go there as part of the Ireland basketball team, how was that for you as a kid?
It was just a mind-blowing experience. We had all our uniforms and the Irish gear. And we were so young again, do you know what I mean? You're talking about 15, 16 years of age. Staying in all in hotels, booking into rooms together. We got to go see, I think it was the Lakers. So we got to see Kobe Bryant playing in Boston hometown. And then we were miles up, really needed to knock and see them come on. But after the match, we got to go down onto the court, and they had all the rings down. We got to sit and hold the ring and all get photos taken. And then we traveled around to different colleges, and we played against some I wouldn't say full college, in around our age group, they were making a show. We were miles behind, skill level.
Probably half their size as well.
Height difference, everything like that. But it was just an amazing experience to be and to be going to those type of places at that age, and just seeing, I'm with my wife 8 years now, and she hasn't been to America yet. You know what I mean? I was we're gonna go to New York, we're gonna go to Vegas and all, and just keep them these amazing experiences. But to do all them in my teens through basketball, you never would have thought. Especially because when I got an interest in basketball, there was no team in Clondalkin. There was never a place you could go and join a team. You had to go outside to Tallaght. Stadium or Temple Oak had a team or stuff like that. So because there was a few of us had an interest in the village, my mum and my mate's dad, who was the best man at the wedding, we set up our own club in Clondalkin, and we called it Clondalkin Lakers. And that club went from having one under 13s team in 8 years to having a Division 1 national men's team, which I played on at the age of 19, 20. And we won the All Ireland, Division 1 All Ireland. And then we had teams going all the way down, right down to 13 underneath us.
How is that club doing now? Is it still now?
It actually merged when I finished up around 22, 23. Music was going really well, gigs were great, and like I just kind of called it a day, and they merged with the Dublin Lions. It's another club, and now the two teams just run under the name Dublin Lions. But I think once I kind of stopped playing, my mum and my best man Keane, he kind of stopped. So he stepped down, and it just kind of the core
Yeah,
people
well,
started.
if it's
It,
still a club, whether it's like if it's merged, it's obviously part of another club, which is it's still the club. So it's great that kids and people coming up and even adults can still play it based off your passion, your mates' passion, and even your family and mother setting the club up. So that's absolutely epic. If you think I love numbers. So I'm a numbers person. So if you think of the multiples of the people, as you said, it started with one, and then they had an adults team and all teams all the way down. Like the teacher, the multiples of the people whose lives have been affected by that club, and then feel that settle with that. So it's a big legacy piece. Do you think?
yeah, like I still look back, have like in the attic just boxes, meaning once a year when you get your Christmas decorations out, whatever, you take out boxes and stuff, and it's still like newspaper clippings from the Clodagh and Echo and stuff like of us and the team members, with our trophies and the pictures of me, like those me doing layups and all, and the big headlines and all. Like it's mad. You don't see it at the time, but we look back, it just had a huge impact. And it kept us off the streets. It kept us out of trouble. It was such a focus, like music and basketball. Like basketball mostly through them years because again there wasn't really that support in the music. Like I had a saxophone like from age 10, but I would literally from the age say of 13 when I started playing basketball up to about 17 when I started. I'll tell you in a minute, but I went to college then to play saxophone in college. But for them years, the only time that saxophone was taken out of the case was like family occasion,
Oh,
take it at
yeah.
Christmas.
When you were sent up to the front of the room before,
Yeah, something like that. Yeah,
before for your ankle.
in school, like
Yeah.
they have like a thing in school, like every class has to do something like, oh, your man there, your man here looks the basketball. See, I used to get a lot of stick from basketball as well. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it wasn't a hardy man sport or anything. It wasn't considered. So yeah, man, that fairy that plays the basketball, he plays the saxophone as
Yeah.
well. It's shocking.
Do you ever see the meme with the stick when like it could be anything? It's a little stick man, and it's like Bitcoin, and it's poke it, and the big air bubble is do something, do something. I can imagine that you in school, and everyone's just poking you. Come on, get the sax out and do something. Which is incredible, Fair play to you. Ireland and Dublin can be like when you go against the grain. It's not ostracized, bit ostracized, a bit outcasty and stuff like that. So fair play to you. You found your calling, you found your purpose, and you ran with it. I'm sure there's many stories. I will come back to the saxophone, but I want to come back to something that you said a while ago in terms of being kicked out of class, being kicked out of school, and doing really bad at your junior, not doing good at your junior and bad at your leaving. You said you used to whistle and you used to sing, and then you didn't have a lot of interest in school in your later years. But now, as a profession, you're a musician. So, for school teachers or even for yourself, right, to see that, because I can see that now. My daughter, she absolutely loves art, and I brought her to skateboarding, I brought her to lots of different things, but art is a thing. And I want to try and mold her towards, not even mold her, allow her to go where she wants, but I see that she has a massive interest in that. So for school teachers, instead of shutting students down, or what do you think for yourself? How was it for you to feel, or how did you feel when you were shut down and kicked out of class because you were singing? And which I know is not a good thing, but yeah, how did it make you feel, George? Getting your wings clipped from something you loved.
I struggled massively in my school years, feeling like I was stupid, like feeling that I struggled massively. Look, I don't know where it maybe could be still something like ADHD or something like that, but I couldn't concentrate on school. If I had an interest in something, I was hyper focused on it. Do you know what I mean? Anything like that I had an interest in, I could get stuck into. I actually really loved geography. I was really into geography, and I really like thrived in that. You know what I mean? When it came to maths and Irish and like that, it was just so. I just don't think the teachers knew enough back then to like go, I can spot this guy has an interest in something different. Let's encourage him. You know what I mean? My son now goes to a Montessori method school. out here in Raheny, like, and it's all child and led learning. So there's no sitting at a desk, put your hand up. There's no, it's free on the classroom, free. If they want to focus on this thing, and then they go on to this thing, and whatever they want to do, they do. They go over to a snack table. They have their snacks during class. It's like, if I had something like that, I would have thrived in it. You know what I mean? So teachers back then, I don't think understood the different way, people, needed help or needed to learn in certain ways. Like, I was just told I was stupid. I was told one of my teachers, I swear to God, I'm not naming names, but I was told I'd never amount to anything. That's something that never leaves me. Like, you are kind of waste of space. Get out of my class. You will never amount to anything. Those little things and think that, other things that, maybe other lads in the class would have said to me and all, like, stupid, or just a class clown, or need you. They don't leave you. Like, they just carry on with you throughout your life. Like, so when it came to like leaving cert and all, I just had no interest. Like, I spent the last 2 months of my leaving cert year at home, because the man told me he has to stay at home and study in the backyard or whatever, because he's just disrupting the other students when they're trying to prepare for the exams. Like, so even something like that, like, and I remember the weather was fucking crack, I was out the backyard, and I lived like literally, Wildcat College I jumped my back wall, and I was in the school, like, where I lived, right in the village, so I could hear the school bell going off with the back and all, the salon in the house, and she was in the background pretending to study. Oh, this is great, and like that again. I remember when I was in sixth year, before I got booted out for the last 2 months, I had something like 38 lates on my report, like, so I got into school 38. Even though again, it was just that thing, like, I was like, so just I just always walk in too late or whatever, like, just couldn't take. I don't know what it was. I mean, it was just this real approach to it, and I just was everything that was said to me was just negative. There was never a positive encouragement to go, music might be your thing. Like, I left school at 17. I was young, finishing my leaving, like, and I was applying for a sports scholarship in DC, in UCD. And UCD Marion was the basketball club at the time, like, and they were like, our club team, Clonalkin Lakers, were like rivals with them. Like, we used to have shit like serious ding dongs down at the community centre when we grew out to UCD. Like, there'd be nearly scraps happening on the court and all. So it was real rivalry. Like, and I got the scholarship based on just my basketball merits, you know what I mean? But I didn't even think I wouldn't get the points or whatever, you know what I mean? But I got it, and then I didn't go then because I didn't want to play for them. The rule was to go play for UCD Marion then. I didn't want to leave Clonalkin Lakers because we had such a little team built up, So, like, when I was leaving school, I didn't have a clue what I wanted to be. I didn't know what I wanted to do, what I wanted to be. And then my dad said to me, there's a college over in Blackrock called New Park, and they're doing a diploma, 4-year diploma or 4-year degree in jazz performance. So my dad was already playing like a Sinatra and Dean Martin and jazz standards on the guitar. And what I used to do, my party piece at Christmas or whatever, I used to get the sax out, and play like whatever it was, fly me to the moon and this kind of stuff. So I had an interest in that style of music. Like, so that was it. He taught me about that. At the time, I was driving a Clare runner, right? It was a 125.
The 125. I thought it was high.
It had a 172 kit in it, right? So this thing was a bullet, like,
What did it sound like?
I got the ear coming out, like, there's a proper rumble on it. It was like a Harley Davidson, and I used to drive that all the way over the M50. We used to go like 75, 80 mile an hour, like, and I used to drive it all the way over to Blackrock, saxophone on my back, and I went and studied there. I went over to there and studied jazz.
The sax.
Yeah, that's where it came out of nowhere. My dad was like, do you want to pursue the music? And I was like, oh, I don't know. Like, now this was a fee paying thing at the time. Like, I didn't need points or anything, you know what I mean? So my dad paid for me to go there, And that was it. That's where
man, that's incredible and epic, because when they think of saxophone and saxophone players, that's what I would think. I don't know if B.B. King used to play the sax, but that's sort of the era that I envisioned the saxophone, with Black in the 60s, 70s, 80s, all of that, and that's where it was most prominent. But, obviously you're fucking white and you're in the middle of Dublin, so it's an incredible story to hear. When you got to Blackrock then, how was it for you? So what was the switch? Your dad introduced the Blackrock and that course. What was the switch for you where you were like, I know this is it, and I'm going to run with this. This is my purpose on the planet.
The college years there were a bit of a struggle as well, because I was so young, first of all, but it wasn't like, because it was a fee paying college, you know what I mean? Anyone from a guy in his 30s could go back and decide I'm going to study in jazz, whatever, you know what I mean? So it was a very mixed bag of people in the classes and stuff, There was guys like mature students, there was guys way older than me. So I was the youngest in in New Park. And because I was traveling from Clondalkin, I was going off and then the Clare run. Like I had the proper bike gear on, the gloves, the hard knuckles. I was going over freezing mornings and all. The
Yeah.
sacks, the wind was taking the sacks off my back.
Yeah.
Drive over there and getting the gear off me. And I think I started driving my Maz Punto in my third year or something, just because I couldn't hack the mornings anymore. But yeah, it was a bit like we'd finish and then I'd have to drive back to Clondalkin, like so. They'd all be like getting buses out there from town or whatever. So it was kind of like, they would go drinking and all that. So I kind of missed out between like kind of, again, basketball was still huge in my life then. I was like traveling, doing tournaments and all that. And then I was still trying to get through college. So it was great because I wasn't getting caught up in the like drinking and all that mess. And you know what I mean? Like they were all like going off and having these nights out and all. So it was still a great focus, I suppose, But the best thing that came out of, I suppose, New Park, and sadly the school closed there only about 3 weeks ago.
Oh.
Yeah, it's been gone for years and years, and it's on a New Park secondary school. It's on a private owned land by the school or something.
I think it is.
It was in the Dáil. They were in the Dáil and all people, because all the teachers have lost their jobs. 600 students are after losing their music team. Yeah.
What?
And they just pulled it like that. They just were closing the stores, and that's the end of it.
Who pulled it?
The people who own it's a private owned building. It's like a big old mansion house, like on the school grounds. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's huge.
I'm pretty sure I know it. They're gonna do a development on it. Is that the one?
It could be. It's Newtown Park. It was at the end of the from down the hill from the M50 there. In New Park.
So yeah, where you go left, if you're going like it's like when you're coming down, you're looking at the ocean. So it's like you're looking out at Black Rock or Sandy Point. Is it Sandy Point?
Yeah.
But you go left to go into Black Rock, the hospital, and then it's somewhere there on the right. Is that the one?
Yeah. So like.
Yeah. I know exactly where there's a BMW garage across the road.
Yeah. Do you know what they're after? I don't know what the cause of it was or what it was. But they just pulled it, and there's nothing that could be done about it. So it's really sad, because that's where I guess it's where I learned how to play this well. That's where I learned my skills. And again, in the college, what I thrived on was the playing, the performance side of it. I struggled a little bit again with the composition. I struggled with the rhythm and stuff. I struggled with certain aspects of it. But what I really got out of it was getting into ensembles and playing with other musicians and learning how to play to people, how to play and listen. Do you know what I mean? And then I was learning on my skills there. And then while I was doing that, I started a band in Clondalkin. So that was the Schizophrenic band for me. Yeah. So I started that with Kay, my best friend, and another two lads from the village. And we all trained under John Fitzgerald. So I had like the Irish team going, at the college going, and then I had the Schizophrenic going, which was, writing original songs, learning cover songs, started playing pubs, doing pub gigs, doing all these like battle of the bands and all. And that was like, it was a lot of moving plates, you know what I mean? But that's when so I was doing gigs in pubs from like the age of 18, 19. Sure, I was already, and I played piano, I played guitar, I played, I was a singer in that band as well. I mean, so I was the lead singer of Schizophrenic, and I was trying to like kind of juggle all of this stuff. And I eventually left New Park then after 3 years. I took a year out, because the band was doing really well, and I was going chasing as you said, follow, fair play for the last one. You have to look back, Schizophrenic. And we had some amazing times at Clondalkin. We used to play up in the Red Cow in what's called Buzz now, or Diva, used to call back in the day. Like, we used to play in Diva every Thursday night, like before the club would open. So we drag our big PA in, and we do like a covers and original set, and people would come in early and all. And like, we created a lovely little buzz. But for all the good times, the good people, you had the negative, you say, people that would go saying things about you and slagging and like that kind of thing. But we just did it. We went after, like, we set up that band with the intention of being famous, like going fucking playing world stages and all,
Yes.
Came from that innocent place, you know what I mean? Like, our first songs we wrote were terrible, like, and we recorded the next one, and we just started getting better. Like, we ended up recording two studio albums in over 10 years or so. And I took the year out of New Park to pursue Schizophrenic. So I was living in Maz at the time, and I think I was on the Dáil or whatever, you know what I mean? And I was still in college or whatever. And we used to like, sorry, this one I took the year out, sorry. We used to meet up in a drummer's cafe religiously at 10 o'clock in the morning, right? And go down to his shed, and we'd stay there from 10 to 4, right? We set like working hours for ourselves, like, and we'd spend like half of it doing originals, half of it doing covers. So to make sure we had it covers tight and stuff, and then we'd spend it, and some of this fucking, the original, trying to write the original song. You'd be there for 4 hours on one section of the song,
Uh,
pissed off at each other and fuck out and have a joint. I'll come back in. This was going on for a year, right? And then my man ended up throwing me out with a capsule. I ended up going with
what for writing poxy music? I mean, bollocks.
So it just being a bollocks, and I wasn't like, home, and I was just in this mode, and I guess I just wasn't putting my weight in the gaff. So I ended up moving my dad, and it was just one of those times where that year we wrote our first album, we got our set down, we were all, but like we took it professionally, like, you know what I mean? We wasn't like, we weren't Mickey Mouse, and like we made sure we were there. We all held each other accountable. Got there at 10 o'clock, had our coffee, went down to the shed, jammed, took a break. That had some experience, And then I remember that went on. My dad said to me, if you don't go back to New Park and finish the degree, right, next year, you can have your year out or whatever. But if you don't go back after your year out and do it, you're paying your last year for yourself. Like,
yeah.
So that was the deal, right?
Yeah, that's a good one.
That was the one that said, I don't have the money to pay that. It was $3,000 or something at the time. So he said, if you don't go back and finish it, so you either go with the schizophrenic thing or you go back and finish it. And of course, I went with
How did that go? Just before you crack on, right? I can't help but as you were saying, all of that going down, meeting at 10 and going out to the shed. I can just see the commitments, like the whole commitments. And even Hot Press is flashing in my brain as well. Hot Press is the music magazine, isn't it? Well, you don't really hear of bands coming up like that anymore, do you? Like, I'm not in the music industry, but for you, do you notice that that's like a dying breed? Is it just on like a different world undercovers or whatever?
Yeah, Hot Press is obviously still a thing, but not as much as it was when we were, in them few years, like our early 20s, into our mid 20s. So like we started playing the festivals with Schizophrenic, and I look back, like I laughed because I met a drummer there the other night at a gig, and just chatting, like, cause the DJ Sax thing, we'll chat about that a bit, about the music and how dance music is becoming a big thing, and DJs and belters on.
Yeah.
Electronic and dance music is really coming to the forefront. I think, when bands back then was Kings of Leon, the Coops, and Killers.
The Killers.
It was real bands. So we were doing the band thing. But this guy the other night, he's a lovely fella even more. I was just chatting to him and just saying, like, he was asking me, like, how, with Riff Shop, the band I was in, and how this started, and how, like, and I said, I used to be playing with Aaron the drummer and Dicey's. We used to play 3 nights a week, and I said, no way. We were getting 150 a gig, and we're talking all this stuff, you know what I mean? And he's like, you don't see that. You don't see that. You see people talking about mid-circle, and they see, Conor, Daddy Sax, yeah, he's this, he charges this. They don't see the 17-year struggle. They don't see the journey, they don't see the, like, Schizophrenic was my real eye opener. Like, that was like the naivety, the going out playing electric festivals, play for exposure, getting top by promoters, loving amps, buying vans, putting hammocks in the back of the vans, traveling around Ireland, busking. We busked on Grafton Street with Schizophrenic for 6 years, selling our albums on the street. And we slogged it and slogged it. We went to Australia. We met 2 Australian guys on Grafton Street one day, and they were like, you guys would fly in Australia. Get yourselves over there. So of course we're going to Australia. In suitcases. We went all across Australia. We went to Thailand for a month, and then we flew did a few weeks in Perth. We flew to Adelaide, and then we got 2,000 copies of our album printed in Adelaide, and then we got a camper van, and we busked the whole way up like to Byron Bay. So we
yes.
So it took us like across the other side of the world. It was just the most amazing experience.
How was that? Yeah.
It was unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Because Byron Bay has got an absolutely incredible, what's that called? Like, busking scene. That's where, what's that? Dance monkey, dance monkey, dance monkey. Yeah, yeah. What's the other fellas? Xavier Rhodes. There's like so many different musicians. They all play up there because they have Blues Fest up there. You would absolutely love the fucking Blues Fest. It's up Byron Bay, but they all busk around there, and a lot of them break through from the streets.
Yeah, it's we used to busk off the street, off the beach. When you come up on the beach.
Yeah, where the restaurants are.
Yeah, we used to wait. We'd set up at the time. I think that the bass player had to go back to Dublin, so there's 4 of us in the band. And I used to sing and play sax, and then we guitar, bass, and a home player playing the box and singing. So it was a great little group, like, and we great range of stuff from soul to ska to our original stuff. You know, it was all lively, dancey, and we're these Irish lads like over in Australia, like so we
Right.
sold out over our album. We were selling the album for $20 a pop, like on the street. You know what I mean? And we sold out with them over there. And we came home with like only maybe 10 left. So we just kept for like nostalgic purposes. Like, but we had an amazing time. And I remember we did an amazing story of the from Byron Bay because we did the day trip to Nimbin. You know,
I'm
and
not in love. There we go.
we came back. We came back from Nimbin and we told Busking, you know, we were after picking up a few goodies in Nimbin, you know.
What
And,
kind of goodies? Let the listener
like
understand.
like little tabs of acid and like whatever, like spew spliffs and stuff, pre-roll things and stuff, you know. We went up to the beach and we set up for our musket set. And one of the lads thought it'd be a good idea to try out the acid, like to take like half. Like, so we said, oh, we do it. And we're sitting there anyway, you know, we're starting to set. And everyone's coming off the beach. We get some huge circle of people around us, you know. Boxes out front. We've all our these laid out and all with the sticker and all fits for $8. And we do our set and it went deadly, you know, went so well. There was a guy doing juggling and stuff came up and we were kind of buzzing off him. He taught me how to juggle actually over the week before I was there. And so we're playing away. Set went great. So we do another one. So our set was 20 minutes long. We used to play the set and then we used to take a break, then play a set, take a break. You know what I mean? Because it gave chance for people to leave, new people to come. But the beach just started flooding off. So crowd just got bigger and bigger. So we should have stopped. Like, this is our first mistake. We should have stopped, took the money and ran. Like, we do one more. I was like, right, come on, we do it. So we're only about 4 songs into this set, right? And I swung around to the hook and guitar player, and he was just like, so I was like, oh, fuck. Every single one of us got the giggles. And I was the worst, and I was trying to keep it together, singing, and I just started laughing down the mic. I turned around to the lads, and every time I turned around, I looked at Keenan Trev's face there.
Stuff.
So we called it, right? Because I couldn't stop laughing. And it was starting to come across like rude, you know what I mean? But I just physically couldn't stop laughing. Like, so we finished the set and all of us are just like completely up here. Like, and then people started coming up to us, like, I wanted to talk and all this. I was standing there. Kim was talking to this guy about the album or whatever, and he was like in his big, thick Australian accent, like, you know what I mean, as thick as it gets. And I'm standing there listening, and he's talking about like he's a painter or something, and he said he has his painting at home, and he painted a saxophone, and he Lou Reed or somebody said I painted his face and all. I just started like picturing your man's head like coming out. And he tried to try and say something. I was just like, what? It was. We went around Byron Bay for the whole night then, just like having the best laugh. We never laughed on, but it was just never forget it.
Yes. So music, because music, yeah, it's opened up so many doors. Because that, like, up around that neck of the woods, Byron Bay, Mullabimby, like, that's totally like the music one. And then obviously having the mushrooms, I not the mushrooms, the acid and the weed, like, that's the whole vibe up there. Just mellow out. And your man that was telling you about the art, he's probably an artist that does the same thing, except in his world it's with paints. With your world it's the saxophone. So what a story! I've been up there on mushrooms a few times. I spent New Year's Eve up there as well. And we were supposed to move there before we came to Bali. So we only came to Bali like completely spur of the moment. Our wedding was booked and it was supposed to be in January. And as you know, lockdown, the borders were closed. So we had 2 kids that one hadn't met the family at all. And Fia had only met the family when she was 9 months old. And now we were going home in July, for 3 months. And my mate was like, we were coming back to Australia and moving up to Mullabimby or Byron Bay. And it was only 3 months gap. And then we were flying back to Bali to have the wedding that we were supposed to have 3 years before. And my mate was like, what are you doing, you mad thing? Why don't you just go to Bali, spend 3 months in Bali, have the wedding, and then go up to Byron Bay? And like, you know, when something lands, like immediately, like the moment the words left his mouth, I was like, that's a fucking great idea. And like, I hung up the phone, told my wife, his wife was actually in our house at the time. And I was like, Sergio, we're moving to Bali. She's like, what? And I'm like, we're moving to fucking Bali. Listen to this. And I was just explaining the whole story to you. And I signed on to Facebook then. And this woman who was a single mother had twins, and she just put up this big. I'd never spoke to her in my life. She added me on Facebook whenever before, but she'd put up this big post. She'd lived in Bali for 4 years. She started coming to an end. It's been great, and basically saying thanks to Bali and people in the community and all the rest of it. And I sent her a message like this was in 5 minutes of that phone call with Craig Endon. Sent her a message saying, "Oh, look, thinking about going over with my family." Bodie was not even, I think he might have been one. Yeah, he was. He was one, and Fia was 3 or 4. And we're obviously a family of 4. Like, we're going to Bali. But I said, "Oh, look, do you mind sharing a bit of information?" She literally sent me back like a whole, everything that you need to move to Bali. Here's the community WhatsApp group. Here's the Facebook group. There's the organic food you can order online, but on WhatsApp. Everything here is ran on WhatsApp. But when the stars align, it's like, fuck, we need to go. So yeah, coming back to Byron Bay and your stories, absolutely epic. So the schizophrenic is came back from Australia, and what happened, which is after that?
Yeah, we arrived back on Paddy's Day in March, and we went straight from the airport onto Grafton Street, wet bus. That was the mindset,
Yeah,
that was our first album. We toured with that, and when we were over there, we were doing busking sets on the streets. We were going to get our permits. You needed permits over there. In Melbourne, you had to go do like an X Factor style audition just to get a permit. Like,
no way.
yeah, like there was a whole panel and all, so we went and played a few tunes, which was great, because Ireland didn't have anything like that. Like
Yeah.
Busking right down Grafton Street, but it wasn't regulated in any way. You know what I mean? You just like turned up, and you could stay on the spot for as long as you wanted. You could do whatever. It was we came back after seeing what it was like over there, and then in Ireland they brought in permits, they brought in licensing on volumes and sound, busking amps. All they got real tight. So they pulled us. It was Schizophrenic and Key West.
Key West, I know Key West. Yeah,
yeah. They took Andy Key West and myself and Kane, and they meeting him in the council in town there at Christchurch. And we chatted about how can we make busking better in Ireland, because how can we make it fairer for everybody? How can we make Grafton Street a more like vibrant place for tourists to get the best quality buskers? And
yeah.
We just chatted about it, and they took on some of the stuff that we suggested, and then some of the stuff they kind of put their own twist on it. So they introduced 2-hour slots. So on Grafton Street and Henry Street, you can only busk for 2 hours, and then you have to move on to another slot. There was no more coming in at 7. And we used to have it was 4 hours in the bands. We used to send the drummer in or someone in who lived closer to town to
that's the spot.
And the busking can't start 11. Like, so sitting on the hours. You used to get paid an extra few bob to go in, and and that was the way it worked. You know what I mean? Key West would be outside Brown Thomas.
Yeah, it's just down the end of Grafton Street. Yeah.
Now it's now Alan Sherlock. It's all like more guitars. You walk down Grafton Street now, it's more acoustic acts and singer songwriters. You know what I mean? Where back when we were busking, you have like a Schizophrenic, you have Mewfish. They're called. They're like a kind of trad, kind of real rock trad. Amazing. They had like lads, Eastern European lads, and all playing. So there's a real great influence, real kind of world music, And then you had Key West, and you had like you used to kind of like dance troops and stuff like that. They're all gone now. So it went well for about a year, and then they went and changed it again. So they brought in decibel meters. They brought in you had to get a license.
Technical.
Yeah, you had to have like a €60 license for the year. If you wanted to use an amp, it was €90 for the year. So little things just to make it a little bit more professional. It was to stop like
that's not too bad.
Yeah, it was to stop the average like each just coming up and shouting and plugging and annoying people. I mean, because like before, someone could come up from the council and say, "Look, have you got a permit?" No. Okay, well, look, you're making a racket there, mate. You know what I mean? It could be just some random fella with a few jars on him, like,
yeah,
with the guitar and start shouting. You know what I mean? So it was really good for the street in certain ways. And then what happened was we were recording a second album, so we've two Schizophrenic albums, and they changed the 2-hour slot to a 1-hour slot. So outside, like these spots,
that's a bit.
It was only 1 hour, and you had to be off the spot on the hour. So for us as a 4-piece band, we had to finish up at 10 and then start packing up and then get on to the next spot. So that was like a bit of a nuisance. I mean, I have to relocate all the time, because in 2 hours we could do 4 20-minute sets with breaks, and that's plenty. So we could do 2 hours, then go down the street and do another 2 hours, and that's our day done. You know what I mean? We could have all our CDs sold, a few tips or whatever. You know what I mean? So the 1 hour thing kind of messes around. But then they changed it that bands of 3 or more people can only play outside Stephen's Green Shop. And this is the fucking nail in the coffin, you know what I mean? Because Stephen's Green was the bigger square at the top, you know what I mean? And
yeah, that's where I'm from.
It was a great it was a great
Fun,
pitch. But when you turned up to play, there was like a queue of 3 lads behind you. Like, do you know what I mean?
yeah,
There 1 hour. So you're talking 4 hours by the time you get to play another set. And then, Dublin's like, you got to, we rain a woman and sunny the next minute. We just had a few days where we just like sat there going, is this worth it anymore? Do you know what I mean?
oh, that's
We were like, is this worth it? Is it worth driving in? I was coming from Kildare, and Keane was coming from Leixlip. One of the lads was coming from Leixlip. Phil lived in town, so he lived in Cork Street, so he used to go in and get the pitch most times. But like, you're paying parking on 3 cars, you know what I mean? You're in there, you're buying lunches, we were just kind of going. Like, some days we could do a 20-minute set and we could sell 40 CDs. Do you know what I mean? That's like
yeah,
that's
right. Yeah, of course.
but then it just became like, it's just not worth it. The time for what we were making wasn't worth it anymore. So we packed up the Busking after years of like, and there was thought Busking was better than gigging. Busking was better than playing on
Yeah,
stage. God, it was the
that's
most.
interesting.
You just never knew what was going to happen at any given moment.
Yes.
It was just like, we had like, I remember, one day we were playing, and the song, "Look Right Through You Up There,
Yeah.
Talk to Me." Alan Cease, who was the singer of that vocal, was a busker in New York, and he used to sing in the street with a djembe, and he used to sing like covers of Adele and all. And he got picked up online, like a video of him singing, picked up by, I think it was that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And he was brought over to the UK to sing that vocal, like, and he was walking down the street one day when we were busking, and he stood in the crowd, and we were playing "I Feel Good," and he came up and took the mic and started singing "I Feel Good" with us, and then it was a song with us. So it was just like this. You
Yeah.
never, you know what I mean, what was going to happen. And there was one guy that on the street, and he used to come down, and he had this mad eyes, like, I think he was proper partier for a year, you know what I mean? And he used to come down on the street, and he always on his own, and he always used to stand there real quiet. And we got to know him, right, because he used to come in and do this most flamboyant, like a bit like Fat Boy Slim Praise You music video. You know that video?
Yeah.
Music, all that. And he used to always wait for his moment, and he'd wait for one of our songs, and he'd get into the middle, and everybody would just like be loving him, like, and he'd come there, and then he'd finish doing it, and he'd just like hand side just walk off completely. So this stuff used to happen, and it was the most like, you're playing, you've no mad lights and effects, you're just there. The people are here. I mean, we used to like set like a little like a piece of tape or whatever, you know what I mean, on the street.
Yeah.
You get people to come into the tape, right, to stop them blocking up the shops and all. I mean, so you want to people within like 4 feet of you, like, and you're performing right there for them. So we got used to that style of performing on the street, and then that time and what I learned from performance and showmanship, and it all came from the street. Like, I bring that into my daddy's sax stuff now everywhere I go. Like, what sets me apart from the other sax players to do is the energy that I put in, the fun that I put in, the getting people involved, the dance moves and all the extra stuff. What kind of makes me different, and that all came from the confidence came from playing on Grafton Street and playing on Henry Street.
Yeah, it's the same. I watched the Ed Sheeran documentaries or doco series, I think they're called. But yeah, I think his wife was the one who actually acknowledged that they were over in Germany during what was the Beerfest, the German Beerfest, and they were just there on holidays. But he didn't command the stage; he was invited on, but there wasn't a bother to him. He got up and sang that one picture. What's it? You're the picture in my pocket or something. Can't know your name. But yes, he was like, he's so confident, he's great, and it all stems from his work on the streets. He can walk onto any stage, he can go anywhere in the world, and it's not even that he's just cocky, or it's just an innate confidence because he's performed in front of millions of people. But all of those qualities came from his busking years. So it's interesting to hear that, and it's also interesting because it's live, it's not scripted, and it's raw, it's real, it's authentic, in the middle of, you don't know what you're going to get. But it's also, there's no alcohol involved. There'll be very seldom, depending on your time slots. But it's say you're getting people that are genuinely love music, or people that genuinely love music that are coming across doing the Saturday shopping and just hanging about. So well done on that. I want to come back to something as well, something funny when you were sharing about Melbourne and the permits. So a friend of ours, I lived in Melbourne for 7 years, and a friend of mine, what he used to do, he used to get permits like that. He's an electrician, but Richie, one year he rang the council and he got a permit for St Kilda Beach. He's like, oh, I've got a friend, I've got family coming over from Canada and from Ireland, and we're having a big bit of a thing down here. We want to use, there's a ballroom. Is it? What's that thing called? Like, there's one in Stephen's Green.
That's like
The bandstand, that's the one. Yeah, there was a bandstand down there by the beach. He's like, "Oh, I have a massive family. There's going to be about 30 or 40 of us, and can I get a late permit to have be out playing music?" Anyways, we got the pass and we set up the decks. Everyone had Christmas hats, all Irish, English, fucking backpackers all over the place. But we had the place absolutely pumping. But the police came. There was nothing they could do because we had the permit. There's probably about 300 or 400 people down on the beach running amok. And now we cleaned up afterwards. But that's a funny story of Melbourne and being correct with their permits. We used it to our advantage and put it back on them. So that was epic. That was an epic Christmas. Enough about me. Coming back over to you. Riff Shop, you said your band you were in, you travel all around Ireland, and I'm guessing the Bacardi stage was part of that conversation. Carry
yeah,
on with your story.
yeah. That was, I guess, was the kind of turning point, as far as the
Yeah, professional.
yeah. Like
Mhm.
if I think it was gigging, doing well. Second album came out. My wife fell pregnant on her first, so I guess my wife falling pregnant was the kind of the change in moment. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Because I'd lived life to that point really selfishly and just all for myself, all for the party and all for the gig.
Papa was Rolling Stone.
Yeah, try. But this was, this is not about you anymore. So when Nikki fell pregnant, I remember we were bringing out the album was coming out in the next March. You know what I mean? The baby was due in May or April. Mason was born, and just like just because kids were never in my or whatever, never thought
The
about
awareness, your
so
awareness.
focused on this career and where with the next album, the next where we're heading and all. So yeah, we brought out the second album a few months before Mason was born, but then he was born, and then while I was kind of in that phase, I started playing. Like I saw a photograph in my phone. I was trying to find an old photograph to send to a friend, and it was from 12 years ago. And it was me playing the sax in the village, I think it was at the time, Opium now, in the back room
Oh yeah.
playing my old black tenor sax into like a stand, microphone on a stand and all, and I'm like playing with skinny arms, skinny legs, like, and that was when I started getting my first gigs playing with DJs, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I started doing this. So immediately, because of that, whatever the scene and the place I was playing in, the money was better than playing with the band. You know what I mean? I was able to make better money
Okay.
playing for an hour or two than I was doing a 2 hour band set and the setting up the gear and all the crack. So started doing a bit of that, because I knew like I had to give me shit together now with a baby coming out. So I actually had to start making money here from this thing. It's not like a big circus anymore, you know what I mean? So I started doing that, and that kind of became my kind of regular kind of thing. I started getting more gigs, I started getting a little bit better. And like the music I listened to was, blues, jazz, soul, northern soul, ska, Mad Madness, the specials, all that kind of two tone stuff. Then I was writing music like was more fun, Stevie, all that. It was all influenced by that kind of music. So dance music never got in, do you know what I mean, for whatever reason. I didn't have room for it or whatever, So
Uh-huh.
when I started playing in the clubs and all, then I was exposed to like, all the tunes with Calvin Harris and all these. So I was listening to it, and then I started kind of actually growing a love for it, you know what I mean? Started actually enjoying playing the saxophone to it, and I just found it like a niche in that, you know what I mean?
Okay.
Found how to play along with how to make dance music sound better, you know what I mean, rather than, playing too much or,
Uh-huh.
over. Okay. So I just found a little thing and I got kind of into that. Then I started picking up them few little gigs here and there. DJs were coming over, I was getting asked to play, like played a cassette with Mark Knight in the Button Factory and Alex Squidino, Destination, I don't know, that big sound.
Yeah.
Mark,
Oh yeah.
play that with him in the Mansion House.
No way.
All big things like that. Started,
Never been in the mine house or
yeah,
anything. I've
yeah.
been in it as a kid, but
Like Mark was on the lineup as well. Like Car was on like on the first on, and it was mad. It was a Crown. It's like I think Crown had brought him over or something. But now again, I look back on that now. If I saw a video of it, I'd cringe. Like I'd but it was just
you're gonna get to 10 years from now and you're gonna say, look at the state of them.
yeah,
Looking at yourself today. So it's all love. It's all love.
all part of it. But yeah, so I started doing little bits and bobs, and then the roof shop thing kind of took off in 2015, 2016, and it was kind of a fluky. The way it happened was kind of just random. Myself and Aaron Johnson, the drummer, he was still the drummer. He was playing with me in Dicey's on Harcourt Street, and we used to do Wednesday night, Thursday night, Sunday night. We had 3 gigs a week in there, right? Then a graveyard shift, 12 to 2 o'clock in the morning. But again, this was all part of the journey, part of learning the music, learning our trade. And it was like, all the gigs were class, and the owner was hilarious. Like, we got treated awfully. It was just like real, but we just did it, you know what I mean? We slogged it out, and we used to really enjoy playing together and stuff. And then I was doing some other gigs for promoters and stuff in different venues. It was the Grafton Lounge off Grafton Street. Used to be a great spot. It was only ever, it was when the first playing DJs was the only place in Dublin kind of doing it at the time. So I used to do there on a Saturday, and I ended up getting booked. Myself and the DA Steve and Aaron got booked on the same night by mistake or something. I was supposed to be on my own, and Aaron got
Oh,
rather than going home, he just said, "I'll just play," which is like, so we ended up just doing a set together. Just yeah, it just went off. The set went off, and everyone had an amazing night. And then after that, we were like, "Jeez, we should like do this again." Let's try it again.
Yeah, one of one.
Yeah, so it was just like one of them universe things coming together or whatever. So we ended up then getting a residency in Mexico on her Margaret Street, in the Mexican bar opened up, and that was like a really popular spot for 3-4 years. So we did a tour in residency there, and we started just building our set, like putting the set together. And yeah, that was it. It was just, we got one or two kind of weddings early on. We got booked for Kira Lambert. She's like she has her own hair consultancy place. She does all the extensions for like the likes of all the influencers and famous people in Ireland, like Andy Gilson and all them will go to her. And we did her wedding over in Tenerife, and then off the back of that we got booked for Suzanne Jackson's wedding, So Sue Me, and then we did her wedding, and then it was just like one or two like tags or whatever, and the wrist shop thing just took off like just like a rocket. 2016, 2017, right up to COVID, like we had like 4 huge years.
What is it they say? It takes 10 years to become an overnight success. So you put in the hard yards. Well deserved. And Electric Picnic, because I fuck Electric Picnic. My God, it was it was unbelievable. Come on, tell us what it was like for you as the artist playing in front of crowds like that.
Yeah, it was. What was good about Rip was that I kind of continued over my songwriting stuff with them, so it wasn't just like, because Schizophrenic, we used to write as a group and stuff like that. And I was heavily involved in kind of melodies and lyrics and sax hooks and stuff. So with Riff Shop, we were producing some tracks and putting them out there, like, some original stuff as well. So got to still have that creative outlet, as well as building a really cool set of our own edits and our own little ways of getting in and out of tracks, and our own little party pieces that we used to do that build energy and stuff. So it was a real creative kind of space, So because we were putting out original music as well, we got asked to play Electric Picnic. We did it actually 2 years in a row, and I guess an ultimate, which was just because everyone says 2020 was like the year, they're all going to do the biggest things, and nobody fucking blew up.
Shit, lockdown.
Yeah, we got asked to do it with Casper Cardi on the Saturday and on the Sunday, 6:30 in the evening to 8:30, whatever. Really nice slot, people are really getting going.
And it's my favourite part of EP.
Yeah, and the 29th we just blew it out of the water. We had this Saturday, it was amazing, and then the Sunday was even better. You know what I mean? It was just unbelievable. So I don't know how many people were there. I'm guessing 15,000, maybe more.
I was there. I was one of them.
They just loved it from everywhere, especially the Sunday, whatever it was, because I think we played the Saturday. Maybe people were talking about the set on the Saturday or whatever. But when them always, it just kind of comes together, and you're just looking at, is this real? Is this actually happening? Do you know what I mean? Walked off like smiling from ear to ear. And we went to have an amazing weekend. We went to all the different things afterwards. The wife was there. We went to the Raven, the was. So one of them weekends, you never forget.
Yeah.
And then COVID landed. Yeah, my little girl was born in May 2020. So I became a dad of 2. I had a boy and a girl then. And there's a few years of shop, the party and the drink, the drugs, everything it was flat. It was like that, you know what I mean? My health was like rock bottom, you know what I mean? I was rallying myself, my training wasn't getting to the gym, because I used to tip away always at something, do you know what I mean? Or whatever. I used to always kept an interest in training, but it got to a point where like it was just my whole focus. Everything was about Real Shop. Everything was about me music again. It wasn't about my son. I missed out on all the moments. I missed like his first words. I missed his like loads of little things because I wasn't around. I was gigging late at night, and I still caught up in that scene, So COVID was just like a lifesaver. It just saved me life. It saved me whole family's life. It saved everything. It just gave me an opportunity to sit back, and my baby girl was born. I was like so happy, but I was so miserable as well because I'm happy. I looked like shite and I felt like shite. Do you know what I mean? Lockdown and all, do you know what I mean? Everyone went into that buzz, like I felt like eating shite and drinking. And I was like, and I lost my job. Like I lost the only thing I could do. The only thing like my dad used to joke like, you need a backup plan, car. God forbid you know, you lose it.
Joker.
What are you gonna do? You know what I mean? Like, I'd be grand. I mean, so that house. We always say, I'll fall forward. He used to say to him, I'll fall backwards. I mean, I'll fall forward into something else, whatever. And I didn't have a backup plan. But when I lost, we were actually in Oman, in the United Arab Emirates, with Riff Shop. We were playing at a royal wedding, and
Wow.
I flown over to play the most extravagant thing I'd ever seen. It was a bloodline. Someone was married in the bloodline over there. And it was like this outdoor amphitheater, huge outdoor thing. And like, I see the table around, the flower, millions like spent on the wedding. And they went into lockdown in Dublin. We were over there. So we just about by the skin of our teacup, flew back home through Dubai and got home. And we just arrived into lockdown. So like, we were what? My wife was sending me videos and all of people fighting in car parks and like pandemonium in the shop. So I was like, what the fuck is going on over here? You know what I mean? So we were just like, we're over here.
Having talked about life, so
we were trying to have a pint. You couldn't drink over there. So we were like trying to find a hotel. Jeez, that has to be so really a pint, you know? And we went to the intercontinent, well, in Oman, and we sat in the sports bar with a load of these lads, you know, with the full gowns and all, and we sat there with them, and they were all knocking whiskey, and we were playing pool, and we were paying about $14 or $15 for a pint of Heineken. How we didn't give a shit, you know, we were just like, and you know, the world was just like, well, that can't be happening. That can't actually be happening. You know what I mean? Because, you know, 2020, we are going to be like superstar and the Council of Cardi will be playing the fucking main stage and all. And we thought we were like to business, you know what I mean? And literally, like, talk about your arse getting spanked. You came home, and I remember looking at the riff shop Gmail, and I was just like, sorry, lads, have to cancel. Sorry, lads, have to cancel. Cancel. 2020 was fucking cancelled. Because, you know, musicians were the first ones to go.
Yeah.
Look, and it was just, I was after moving into my house like in the September of 2019. Money box.
A fresh mortgage.
Fresh mortgage, 7 months mortgage payments paid, and I'm just like, right. So dealing with that, I mean, you know, I spiraled down. I spiraled into more gas. You know, when of course, as me being born was like the most amazing thing that ever happened. But at the same time, when she got home, I was still in that rut. My wife was in there, but Nick is a drinker, right? You know what I mean? But we were drinking on a Tuesday, drinking on a Thursday, you know, I mean, why not like a slab of Guinness a week? You know, because it was like, this isn't going to go on forever. Do you know what I mean? We'd enjoy this while we have a break from gigging. Give me out a lip, a break, you know what I mean? I've had issues with lip, like salivary glands building up with the cysts. I was like, you know what, my body needs a fucking little break, you know, but of course that break extended. So, yeah, it just, a few years in COVID, that happened as we came along. I had to make a change. I had to get myself back feeling right. And Nikki actually, the whole online health business came through my wife. She came across Whole Food, like the leading whole food nutritional company, Juice Plus company. She came across the supplements and like lovely plant-based protein powders and stuff. So she kind of made the decision to kind of get herself back feeling good after the baby. Like, and I kind of sitting there and review what's here and watch her transform and her feel better and stuff. So I said, you know what, get me arse in gear. I didn't want to be that. Do you know what I mean? I was just like in bits all time and no energy and just, you know, just hating what I saw in the mirror, you know what I mean? And she was making positive changes. So I started just getting involved. I started getting out the back garden, got myself a bar. I got a fellow and a pull-up bar, like he was a welder. He was selling them on adverts, you know, because you couldn't travel to Luke. Went up his back garden, up a lane and all. He had about 50 pull-up bars on the ground. He's making it shit. Nobody could get it. On the ball. So I got the full up. I got going, got into the supplements, started taking them, was feeling great, loads of great benefits. My skin and all clear up, digestion and massive problems with me gut health and me constipation, things like that. So everything started being real positive. So yeah, there was an opportunity to franchise, partner with the company. I partnered with them in October in 2020. And I'm keen on 4 years with that company.
Wow, that's incredible.
You know, it was a pivot. Like, it was like, can't play the saxophone, but I have a laptop. I can set up an online business to do Zoom calls. I can learn a skill set. I learned probably 6 months, graft into it, you know, learned all about the product, learned all about, you know, using Facebook groups, Zoom calls, online platforms, you know, all of that kind of stuff. And then I just built up a customer base, started helping customers with yoga. My wife went on to do a yoga teaching course. She did a breathwork course. We both did a meditation. We just got into that whole space of wellness and health. Started prioritizing health, as you said, organic foods. Started to like look into what we were doing with our diets. Just a complete and utter pivot in a different direction. and the music was just like I couldn't do anything about it. Couldn't control what was happening here. But
Yeah,
getting
mate, I want to commend you for that, because my old podcast was called The Waves of Change. Simply because a lot of people fear change in life. If they're not the musician, then who do I identify as? And they get caught in that in between. So for you to so effortlessly make the transition, or tell me, was it effortless? Was there a big identity shift in your mind? What was it like making the transition from one career to another?
yeah, I won't. My wife would always say, "I you did that easily," like, but
Yes.
our friend of mine said to me, well, he's from Clondalkin where I grew up and all, and one of the people who were not afraid to say it as is to your face, like he's no jealousy there, anything about him. It's just like you were able to do that, and then you were able to like do this, like everything that you put your hand to, you're successful with it. But I don't believe when he says I'm fair play to put that, but it's a drive, I suppose, and a willingness not to let circumstances, to sit there and go, oh, fool me, Pete, you fuck this, like, come on. Like, I love that. I just wasn't having that, like, the whole over thing, I didn't, the wax, didn't take the wax. It just, the whole thing just did not align with me, and I wasn't going to let it stop. Like, and I had a new baby there and all, do you know what I mean? I was like, we're not going to sit on some welfare parent job seekers payment there. I never had that in me. Like, I'm going to do something. But putting myself out there was the hardest part.
Very.
So my background, I watched Nicky was on calls. So Nicky set up a franchise, I set up a franchise. So I was learning on the calls, the Zoom calls, I get that. I was seeing people, I was learning information. I'm seeing how successful people were at this over in the UK and different countries, like, even their full-time jobs. I knew this was a real thing, do you know what I mean? And I knew of the network marketing space, but I just didn't, feared it, you know what I mean? But this was a chance to be open, because you have to be open here, you know what I mean? You may never go back and get oh mate, you know what I mean? So I thought about online lessons, I thought about all of this shit. And the biggest thing was putting myself out there. The biggest thing was making that decision to do a live or put it out there that I'm doing this. Now the only thing was I transformed my body in 6 months. Like, I went from pop belly, years of doing drawn face, like just feeling like shit. And then all of a sudden, my skin had cleared up. I was looking good. I had a six pack. I was like, and all done in the back garden with no gyms open. You know what I mean? So I had a story. All I had was a powerful story that this making a decision to partner with this company and do and taking the products led me to like feeling the best I've ever felt. Do you know what I mean? So I had that, and then I just put it out there. And of course, Ireland being Ireland, just you're this, you're that.
Back to the basketball and the fucking saxophone days.
People saying this, people saying that, fell out with most of that. I was telling me, people putting stuff up online about me. It was just, what?
No way.
Yeah. So,
that's
crazy. I just kind of put myself out there, did it. It was tough, you know what I mean? It was tough. You got negativity about this and that about it. And then I just kind of kept doing it, kept working on myself was the biggest part of it, because when I joined the company, like, I started getting introduced to like the likes of Robin Sharma, all of these like leadership people. Ian Rowan, like Robin, I was only with the company 3 months, and Robin Sharma did a leadership call. Company paid him something like $75,000 to do a 1 hour call with all the partners. Like,
for the listeners, tell the listeners who Robin Sharma is.
He's like a leading leadership mentor who like coaches people like Beyonce and NBA stars.
And he's an author as well. He's an author of one of the biggest selling books of all time. It's called The Monk Who Sold His Ferrari. And there's another one off the back of that as well, but he's huge across the world. What's it? That's the name of it, yeah. So yeah, you got the...
I got into
this
material like at 30, whatever, 33 or whatever, 34 at the time, that I never even knew about. I got exposed through the Juice Plus company. I got exposed to Robin Sharma, the likes of Jim Rohn, and we started reading loads of books, got back into reading. I started practicing gratitude. And I think one of the things that actually changed my life more than any other thing was practicing gratitude daily. And that was with everything. Like, so the Juice Plus company, that flew with me. Like, we just had huge success in the first 2 years. And I was learning these skill sets, and I was learning how to deal with negativity. I was learning how to deal with all of that, because I was so focused on personal development. Do you know what I mean? That I was just like shield of armor on me. Like, I was just, because I was being coached by these people. So I was on call Robin Sharma. She spoke for 1 hour and told stories of like Mahatma Gandhi, all of these different, like, Mother Teresa, he was telling like all these amazing stories. And he didn't even once steer. For 1 hour, he spoke and didn't lose his train of thought. He didn't go, eh. It was the most impressive thing that I've ever seen here. And I was just taking notes, taking notes, taking notes, taking notes. I mean, and then this just became like a page of notes. I bought the 5 a.m. Club, I bought the Souls Ferrari, I bought his Everyday Hero Manifesto, his new book there. Just all of a sudden got me back into reading. I have a library full of books there now. And that just led me on to all of these other ones. So whatever about starting that and what happened, what the skill set and the personal development journey that it brought me on. When I decided then in 2022, Riff Shop were, planning the big comeback or whatever, and like what we're gonna do here. But Riff Shop were too big to be doing any gigs. COVID was up and down and blah blah blah. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
we couldn't be seeing gigging or anything like that. But like when people started to have parties, you could have a few parties out your back garden with family members and stuff like that. You know what I mean? I started getting the odd phone calls saying, "Oh, we're having a party, have a DJ, you come out to play in the back garden or whatever." So I was like, "Oh, play a bit of sax." So I started getting booked then again on my own. Do you know what I mean? And then it just was going so well. And what it was, it just gave me this family, that COVID time, that lockdown, driving out to something to sit in the car, watch sunsets with my kids, going for walks. It all just aligned. That life just became all of a sudden, this is what I want to do. I want to be present with my daughter. Like I got to spend the first 2 years of Esme's life completely present at home with her. You know what I mean? It was no going to gigs, was not being there. And that just like I realized what I'd missed. So I mean with Mason, missed out on them that time. And I said, I have an opportunity here to do this online thing, to whenever the sax comes back, to actually do my own thing and not have to rely on a band situation and have to be like going here, flying here. So my decision to leave, which came in 2022 or 2021 when things were kicking off again, was solely based on the fact that I wanted to put my family first for the first time ever. You know what I mean? You know,
Yeah.
it was you, and I was on a call. It's a girl called Kim Calvert. I don't know if you've ever heard of her. She's up in the north. She's a Bob Proctor consultant. She has
lovely.
she has a company called Dynamite Lifestyle, and I was introduced to her through one of my mentors in Juice Plus, and I was on a 5-day free training call with Kim Calvert, and it was all about paradigms and the subconscious mind and all of that kind of stuff, and letting go of all paradigms, all self-belief systems, things that may be holding you back to where you want to be. And I remember just getting off it, and we tuned in every day for 2 hours. I was in the kitchen, Nikki was down somewhere at an appointment or something, and she came back and she walked in the kitchen and I was off them after that call. And I was like, I said, I'm going to leave your shop. She said, what? Yeah, I'm going to leave. I'm not done. I don't want to get back to it. And that was it. That was just something that she said on that. And I just like rang her, man, I'll leave. And he said, what? It was huge. It was a huge, pivotal, life-changing decision. And people were shocked. You know what I mean? When it came out. Again, more negativity came at me around that and stuff, you know what I mean? And I was just like, oh, I'm making this decision. And that's just that. It was just a light bulb went off. That one decision to do that, since then, everything in my life has gotten better. Health,
yeah. Well, that's
my relationships with my wife, my relationships with other people. I rebranded myself as Daddy Sax then the next year. Daddy Sax I didn't have, I was getting gigs again then, you know what I mean, on my own. I was like, oh, geez, I better come up with a name and I put Daddy Sax out there. That just took off like that. But I put it down to the gratitude, all down to the practice and the gratitude. I don't know what it was, but I was never grateful for anything in my life up to that point. I was always gimme, take. And it always used to happen to me like, which is, I don't mean bad shit, but like I used to always get clamped. I used to always get speeding tickets, little things like this, like that. I used to attract like negative things to me, you know what I mean? It's like still working hard. It's like I was out working the bad lookers. I used to think I was bad lookers.
I could run faster.
Yeah, it wasn't bad luck. It was just, I just was never grateful for the things I had in life. And that moment where I started to sit down and write down every day the things I was grateful for and the things that I wanted to attract and I will have in the future, it changed everything. And even to this day, you know, when I'm done with gratitude, I'm grateful for like the gigs that I get. Even if I have one gig last week, I'm so grateful for that one gig. And then more gigs just keep coming.
That's a fun play. Look, I want to commend you as well because it takes a huge amount of courage to make life-changing decisions like that and be okay with them, especially in kickback, a wave of negative kickback. Because the one thing we can't get back is time. And if your relationships have improved, if your relationship with your family, or your relationship with yourself, your health, and all the rest of it, you know, you still play late at night in some of the gigs that you play, but yes, one last week is you're grateful for that, but it means you get the other 2 days or I don't know what you'll be Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday type of thing, wouldn't you? So you still get the other 3 days to hang out with your wife and your kids, where I'm sure other bands or other engagements are locked in. So you're not just going to that thing and coming home. You're probably going down to Cork or Kerry or London or fucking even Oma, and you're flying all over the place. So you're gone for big chunks of time. So fair play to you for fucking letting go of that, because it's a big life to let go of too.
It was huge.
It's a big life to let go of.
It was do you know what? I look back now and we like still chat to the lads and stuff, and still have a good relationship. And it was just when you start to feel that good in yourself and think, like, even if it's getting a bit more sleep, even if it's not driving home from Killarney or something, or getting in at 5. So as you said, I might finish at 2 o'clock in town now, but I'm home. I have to. I'm in bed. I'm not getting in the door at 4 or half 4. And then you're trying to get up with kids at like 7, 8 o'clock. You're not showing up, like you're not. You haven't got the energy to be the dad that you want to be. Like, and I was after working so hard on myself, inner self, and health, and feeling good, and that was really helping me in my performances and in my relationships and all, and doing getting out there, and I felt good everywhere I went. I wasn't rattling my body, I wasn't sniffing shut my nose, I wasn't, I was just clear of everything, and I felt just amazing. You know what I mean? And I was just happier going around the place. And I was away from toxic people. I had to go so much toxicity out of my life. When you make that decision, it's just you start surrounding yourself with people who, and then I ended up in another band with Casa Disco, and I didn't want to get into another band situation, but the world comes full circle. Like Rob C was one of the first DJs I ever played with.
He's a legend.
In the buttons, and what's it called? The tripod years ago.
Stop. I used to book in with a roof.
We went in, some fella booked us, and we went into a Temple bar, and we had a jam. Rob did a mix and all, and I was playing a song. Wow, it was just like so sugarcoated, And Rob said something there last week, and I don't know what the joke was. Like, now that we don't just look, we actually said some joke, like, But it's funny because it comes how the world comes full circle. When I came out of Riff Shop and I did Daddy Sax for about a year, I started playing at a gig with Rob C and Mimi, the vocalist, Mimi Lane.
Yeah.
They were doing it for a while. Disco She was called, and then they got me in on the sax, and all of a sudden this thing clicked. Like Riff Shop clicked, this thing just clicked. You know what I mean? It was great energy, really got on all really well and all. And I said, Joe, we should brand this up, like, put it on, and here's the terms and conditions. It's not a big thing, like it's not going to turn smart up. Like, everybody still has their own identities. I'm Daddy Sax, you're Mimi, you're Rob. We take no gigs further than an hour from Dublin, so we keep it all close to home. Everybody can say no to anything. So if a gig comes in and it's my son's birthday or something, and I'm taking the day off my son's birthday, you're there. It wasn't with Riff Shop. No, it came first. Everything came first with Riff Shop.
Yeah.
The gigs were too big. The money was too big. The name was too big. And like, you look back and go, geez, I missed out on some radio moment. You know what I mean? You go, why? What was it all for? The mall. She said the time and the memories. But with Casa, the terms and conditions are just like, if someone says no to a gig, that's it. There's no big thing. And that has worked so well. We got to play it. We got to headline the Taste of Dublin Festival the June Bank Holiday weekend. We played on the Saturday and the Sunday on the main stage. It's to like thousands of people.
So that's in the Ivy Garden.
Yeah, it's always in the Ivy, but they changed it to Marion Square Park this year.
So it would have been bigger again.
Yeah, it was huge.
And at it.
My kids got to come on the Saturday. Nikki brought the kids. They got to see me on stage. I got to Esme ran up. She escaped from her nanny for Ditronal. I got the car nanny to pick her up, and she got up on stage with me.
Yes.
And I had her in my arms, and then the next night, my granddad, who's 92, came in to watch it, and me and Nikki had a great night out. It was just like just the decisions have just all been the right decisions, and have came from the right place where it's important with family and kids, and I want to be there.
Yeah.
And everything has just gone in the right direction. Like the success and like Casa Disco is doing so well now again. Like loads of great bookings, and it's just this feeling of like I'm in the right place. Freedom over my choices where I can go and do.
I want to just magnify this right now, and it's 2 final questions after that. But do you feel like you're in alignment with your soul's purpose, like the stars are lined up, and because you put what's most important to you in your life first, everything else has come into alignment, so life is easier, and you're attracting everything as opposed to hammer fist and working for it. Is that how you're feeling right now?
Yeah, it's like I never believed in that. I never believed in And that's why I'm so grateful for all the challenges it brought and the hard work I put in. I'm so grateful for that because it just opened up a different world to me. Like, I never knew about it. I never, I never heard about it. And like, I probably came across you and lots of other people who put out this kind of stuff. You know what I mean? It's content is all I follow. I consume it every day now. You know what I mean? So I'm so grateful that I came across at the time that I did. You know what I mean? Because as you said, one big decision. And like for all the negative things that I got and whatever happened, I had so many people reach out to me as well that, it's funny, it's always strangers. Like, it's not family members or it's not people you know. It's always, I've been following you for years, man. Just want to say that takes some balls, what you have to do. And I wish you every success. You know what I mean? It's just mad how like, people you don't. And I just think that decision has just led onto other ones. And then, as you said, the alignment is coming in. And now the Pope is, I have a lovely balance of like, Daddy Sax stuff, the Casa Disco stuff, and now I've got the Juice Plus stuff. I'm juggling, but I'm juggling it all very easily. I'm present dad who drops his kids to school, collects his kids from school, is here during the day. I'm not missing anything. I'm not traveling around the country anymore. I'm not going to Carney or from here or there. I'm not getting dragged into session. And I just, and my wife, I'm 2 years now off bike. I'm touching in 2 years this July. And that's been a huge thing because it was just this like habit, it was just this habit of like when we go to a wedding or we go to a thing like that, I would get it, you know what I mean? And I had to break that. I had to break that habit because it was ruining my life. Like it was every time I'd go back to it, and just some occasion where I do it, I would just go completely unproductive for a week or two after it. Business would go down in shift form. I wouldn't miss the car. And I finally kicked that. Do you know what I mean?
Fair play to you.
I remember my wife saying to me, we went to a wedding, she was like, it was a 2-day thing or something, and I was just having a few points. I remember saying to me, like, yeah, I'm so hard. She was like, since you made that change, you're so much more fun. You're better. You're more buzzy, you're giddy, you're like tipsy drunk, but like you're more present. You're not leaving me on the tables, you're not off the toilets all night. You know what I mean? Just little decisions like that have made, as you said, your relationships as a dad, how I show up, how I show up in relationships, in business relationships, just attracting better opportunities, nicer people to work with. I play with people all the time. I play with so many people now. It's like, that's another great, beautiful thing is that I get to play with loads of DJs. I get to play with loads of drummers. I get to play with loads of and meeting new people. I'm playing, learning from different people. And everyone I play with is so smiley. Like I'm playing with Niall Regan, playing with Mark Tynan the other night. These lads just have amazing energy and amazing presence, and they always smile, and they're all on the same path. They're all either in a running club or they're all training. They're in good shape. They're out doing their music, and they're just enjoying life. And there's so much more to life than drink and drugs. And there's so many ways to be happy. Do you know what I mean? And playing music is obviously a huge outlet, but just like the simplest things, like sitting out in my backyard in the sun with the kids, and when someone is in an office all day, do you know what I mean? That just allowed me to not have to go and look at another option during. So it's just so grateful for it.
Well done. And that's incredible. It's a huge point to finish up on. So thanks very much for being on, Conor. It's been a privilege to chat to you. So much here that I never knew before. Definitely with the basketball. But I have 2 questions for you before you jump. One of them is a funny one. So you said that you chose schizophrenic over your dad paying for college. Did you ever finish college, or did you have to pay for yourself? What happened there?
No, I never went back.
Never went back.
No, and it's one of the, I never actually, I don't have a degree now in anything. Do you know what I mean? Where if I had gone back and done me last year, I'd have the old piece of paper. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You look at the life experience that I've had, through it and the places I've gone and travelled, and at the end of the day, your degree or whatever is down, or you're watching this and you feel like you're not smart, or it doesn't matter. None of them matter.
Yeah.
And I instill this into my kids now, being a good person and, having good energy and being honest and being grateful. Like I practice gratitude with my son in the car now. He's 7 and 4-year-old. So we go to school in the morning, we get in the car and we on the way down, it's only a 10-minute drive, we say 5 things that we're grateful for. So the skill set, the skill set that you can accumulate through your life, like me with the Juice Plus, like the online business, they don't have a clue. I haven't got a clue about it. You can put your hand to anything, and if your junior citizen, it makes all difference. It really does. You can pivot, you can do whatever, as long as there's a bit of a willingness and a drive there. But to watch my kids and to see them grow now, and I won't let them grow up with a negative self-image. I don't want to let anybody tear them down because I have the stuff that I've learned, or else I'm going to keep practicing with them to make sure that they're bulletproof constantly.
Legend.
And what I've had,
Epic. So, on that final question, what does success mean to you?
freedom to do what you want, the ability to be able to pick and choose what you do on a daily basis. You'll be happy and content and free in yourself. Because I don't believe that having loads of money and all the fancy things means anything to you if you're not at inner peace with yourself. So if you can find that inner happiness, if you can be at peace with yourself and you can sit in silence and you can do that kind of stuff, I think it's more than anything. It's just having the time to yourself, having the time to spend with the ones you love, to spend time with your family. I think it means more than anything. It's just having the choice, rather than you will trade your time for all the money in the world. And they always say that at the end, when it comes when someone gets sick or something, money is, they do anything to get another 5 years,
Yeah.
I really find it's just doing your time more, and really appreciate it. And like, I look at the way I was and the way I treated my body, and you look back with a bit of regret, going, gee, rallying myself, and what did I do there? What damage did I do? So mind the body you have, look after it and nourish it and start, you know what I mean? Because you only get one. And
Legend. Conor, thank you very much for your time. Deep wisdom. It was a lovely conversation. I'm looking forward to the feedback from that.